Hello, my dear colleagues. Nice to see you virtually, unfortunately, again. And it's an honor to be here again as keynote speaker. And thank you for all the invitations. And thank you, special thanks to all the people who organized the conferences of Eurasia, and especially to Dr. Charles for the invitation. So today I'm going to talk about mentoring in higher education, and I truly hope that you all understand the meaning of mentoring and that you start to think about mentoring as a tool to develop skills. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so now here we are. How can mentoring shape the face of higher education in the 21st century? So this is the topic of my presentation today. I picked this sentence just to open the presentation because I think it's quite clear. Mentoring is a brain to pick, an ear to listen, and a push into the right direction. This is what I truly believe. I am a mentor myself, and for 6 years now, and I'm writing my PhD on mentoring for translators. And this is exactly what mentoring is. Brain to pick, ear to listen, and push into the right direction. That's what I do with the people I help. Now, why mentoring? That's the main question. Mentoring became an area of interest in the 80s in the USA. It's widely used in companies, lawyers, firms, agencies, banks, big companies, universities, schools, primary schools, hospitals, and even military. So there are military mentors, which is quite amazing. Mentoring expanded to the academical world, and we have very, very well-known people who do research on mentoring, like Kathy Cram, Bell Raggins, um, Linda Searby, Lisa Fain, Lois Zachary, Chevezel Cook. Well, the list is enormous and it does not end. And there are even specific departments and academics in universities in US, for example, who have specific mentoring programs to help students to find a career or to find a job. In Europe, unfortunately, mentoring is not widely used as it should be, from my point of view, but some trends are starting to be developed by universities. We have the European Mentoring and Coaching Council, but as far as I know, this association is mainly focused on coaching, not too much on mentoring, so which is quite a shame, I must say. Now, we all know, or we know somebody who knows, or we have some idea that there is a gap. Not the clothing brand, but there is a gap between the academic world and the professional world. And this is something which crosses boundaries in all areas of studies like management, culture, translation, law, um, health, whatever. So this gap is huge. And at least here in Europe, I cannot see anything being done to close or to shorten this gap, which is quite a shame, I must say. So how can we close this gap? How can we put the academic world working with the professional world hand in hand, the two of them together? Mentoring is the solution. That is my point of view again. Why mentoring? One-to-one advice, that's what people search for after their degrees, either BAs or MAs or post-graduations, or not in PhDs, because a PhD is something quite specific. It requires research. It requires that the person has a certain level of knowledge. And so I'm just going to say that it is until the MA level, okay? It's orientation, it's help, opportunities of learning, because mentors and mentees share their points of view and they learn with each other. And when the mentee learns with the mentor is normal mentoring or formal mentoring. And if the mentor learns with the mentee, this is something called reverse mentoring, because a mentoring relationship is usually thought as someone who is older and more experienced helping someone who is younger with less experience. And in reverse mentoring is the other way around. The person who is younger and with less experience is teaching something new to the person who is older and with more experience. Also, opportunities of growing in all areas and skills, um, because with the sharing and with the one-to-one advice, um, the mentee mainly can grow with us, the mentors, but us, the mentors, can also grow with the mentees because we are always learning new things. This is specifically for the mentees, getting a picture of the real working world or professional world or whatever you want to call it. And they get to know what is the world outside their academic shell. And most of them get pretty shocked, I must say. But some of them get pretty excited, just saying, oh, let's face it. But some of them get pretty sad because they say, well, no one told me this while I was studying. And if somebody had told me this before, I would have an idea about this, and that. Of course, new contacts and networking. We are in a globalized world, so no one can live on their own, and networking is quite important. I believe in it and I know it works. And it's a boost, like when you put some gasoline on a fire. So if a person comes to you as a mentee or to me or to somebody else saying, well, this is my last resort. I don't know what else to do, where else to go. I don't know who to talk to. Please help me, otherwise I will quit. And if I tell them, don't worry, there's a place for you, this is what they want to hear. I'm not lying, it's true. And they feel that they can see the light in the end of the tunnel. So this is quite important for them. Now, what does mentoring do to help? Helps to find the correct career pathway, and so the mentees can understand their place in the area of studies. Am I in the wrong place? Am I in the right place? Am I studying the thing that I wanted to study? The importance of having a good resume, because nowadays there are quite some theories saying, no, no, your resume must have 2 pages, your resume must have 3 pages, 5 pages, must be with a picture, no picture, colorful, no colorful. And so what mentoring is how to tell people, well, this is my advice to you, that this is a good resume for you. I must say that mentoring is not coaching. Okay, so if somebody who is hearing me just say, ah, yeah, that's coaching. No, it's not. Coaching is something and mentoring is something else. Coaching is a bunch of tools that you can learn in a course, most of the times very expensive. They give you the tools that can, and you can apply them to anyone. And mentoring is something else. Mentoring is that uh, you have to be experienced in a certain area. I'm a mentor for translators. I cannot be a mentor for doctors or lawyers, contrary to a coach who can be a coach to anyone. So mentoring is quite specific. Professional orientation, of course, to get their clients, the profit, everything. Online profiles, mentoring helps with this too. LinkedIn, for example, which is the most common one, professional one. Understand the world which will be faced. That's why so many questions in the beginning. Active learning with mentors, failures, and successes. This is the preferred part for the mentees. How, if I failed, how did I overcome the failure? This is what they want to know. And also lead by example. If I am an example, if I'm respected by my peers and in my professional world, I will be heard. Okay? Who would be the mentors in this case? That's something you might be thinking about. Professionals of the area, as I say, this is not coaching, it's mentoring. Professionals with at least 3 to 5 years experience, I am inclined to the 5 years, because 5 years experience for a translator, for example, this is in the case of translators, is when you become a senior experienced translator, 5 years, okay? And professionals who know how to help, have a good sense of humor, this is very, very important. Excellent knowledge of the professional world and its evolution, because if they ask you, so how is the market now? I don't know. If you don't know, you're not informed. If you're not informed, you cannot help. Okay? A person who can share a message, professionals who are positive, someone who can share a message, because if you cannot share a message, you will not be able to do a good job. If you are negative, and if you say this is going to be a tragedy, the world will fall apart, your life is going to fall into pieces, this is not something good for a mentor, as you can imagine. So it has to be someone positive, someone who can say, no, you're going to make it, everything will be okay. And somebody who isn't afraid of the future competition. I have colleagues who say, me, a mentor? No way, I'm not going to train my future competition. What I tell them is just, why? Are you afraid? Aren't you professional enough? So I'm not afraid. I like to train my future competition because I can help them. And if I see that I can help somebody, if I give somebody something and that person gives me back, that's my reward. So I just want to help. Now some data for you to understand what I'm saying and the effectiveness of mentoring. Now, these are information regarding some mentoring programs I've done. I'm not putting them all here because it would be impossible. But as you can see, the first column is the first letters of the names of the mentees, academical background, working area, so where they were working when they started the mentoring program, and the question was if they have any knowledge of the professional world. So as you can see, 4 of them studied languages and literatures, and the other 3 studied completely different things: law, psychology, social service. And you might be thinking, what this has to do with translation? Nothing. But all of them studied translation in the post-graduation level, and even with that, they were lost. So where they were working? First one was a lawyer, second one was a secretary, then call center was a girl who was a call center attendant. The fourth one, a secretary. The fifth one, the girl was working in a bank, credit recovery. The JS is a guy, okay? He was working in social service. Social service in Portugal is people who work in poor neighborhoods or are trying to help people with less um, economic capacity, okay? And the last one, she was an English teacher, okay? So if they have any knowledge, no. When they came to me, nothing. They knew nothing. And now, see what happened after the mentoring program. Same people, same academical background. Mentoring program, 3 months, 1 session per week via Skype, WhatsApp, email, questions all the time, etc. And the question now is, work as a translator? As you can see, 5 of them work as translators, 4 of them full-time. The last one only part-time because she's quite afraid of not having enough income. And now these 2, the third one and the 6th one, the third one, she had her clients, but she decided to work for an Airbnb because she wanted to have a fixed salary and she was afraid of not having enough income. This is one of the biggest fears of all freelancers, not having enough income. And this guy here, the only guy, he's not a full-time translator because he only wanted to translate games. And the gaming industry in Portugal is pretty infamous. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And I told him, if you want to translate games, you would have to translate to Brazilian Portuguese because their market is like 200 million people and we are only 11. And your clients would have to be in Japan or Russia, for example, or Poland, something like that. Okay. And he said, yeah, but I just want to translate games. And I said, yeah, but you cannot focus on only one area because this is a mistake. And he said, okay, so I will wait and I'll see what I'm going to do. So he just kept his job. I must say that the four girls who are yes full time, they left their jobs, okay, and they started to be freelancers. They left their jobs, okay. I can say, for example, that SG, the number 4, quadruplicated her income, right, in a very, very short period of time, okay. And so if mentoring was used in universities, students would know if they are in the correct area of studies. First things first, very important. It would avoid frustration and stress because sometimes people, sorry, people want to study translation. Oh, because I love English. Translation is not only in English. So if they would understand that from the beginning, they would say, okay, maybe I will practice. Would show the real professional world. So people would be, okay, so I've finished my degree, now I know what to do. Would be a help for future professionals in their preferred areas. Okay. Would create a practical side of each area of studies. Quite understandable. Would allow the students to have a direct contact with established professionals in the area. And this take us to the networking, sharing, one-to-one advice, etc. The university would be closer to the professional world, of course. This is very important. And students will not only be numbers. Yeah, because we all know that when we are studying, um, for example, in Portugal, the final grades in university are from 0 to 20. You need a 10 to pass. Above 10, that's awesome. Below 10, you fail. What happens is when people get frustrated in their degrees and they get no info of the professional world, they will just learn everything by heart. They go to their exams, they just spit everything in some papers, and then they have a grade, and then they close that chapter, and nothing else happens. And then they erase everything from their minds. And this is something we do not want for our future students, of course. So thank you so much for having me once again. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And if you need anything, just contact me. I'm going to share my email right here. Okay. As you can see here in red. Okay. There we go. If you want to contact me, please do. And I'll see you in the next Eurasia event. Thanks, Eurasia. Once again, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay, stopped. Thanks, Eurasia, once again for the invitation. Dr. Charles, everyone involved in the organization of the conferences. It has been a pleasure since 2018 to cooperate with you and all the amazing experiences I've had around Europe and outside Europe with Eurasia. So thank you so much for this new opportunity. And I truly hope we can see each other in person somewhere. I don't know if in 2021. I don't think so. Maybe in 2022, hopefully. Wish you all lots of health and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.